How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we work together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. My name is Henry, and in this episode, we are going to build a positive mindset. We are going to do exactly what this podcast is about. So if you are feeling down, unmotivated, or lost, this is going to be the episode for you, because we are going to use a perspective that will help you see the path in front of you so that you can move forward in positive energy. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So you can pick a word. It can be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as we're breathing in, you're going to say the word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And then once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you, and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. All right, well, we're going to do another deep breath. This one is about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so that we can receive the message that we want to hear today to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's been holding you back. And then once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you, and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. So a perspective that has really helped me recently especially, but just along the lines of this podcast, of things that are really important to me, is the perspective of me, my energy. And so for you, the perspective of you and your energy can be two separate things. I was trying to put together a message, come up with a topic for this episode, and I just couldn't. I had writer's block. I just didn't have an idea. And you start getting to this point to where it's like, well, maybe I just don't do it. Maybe I need a rest. I've been going a long time. Maybe it's time to take a break. And when you have that, when you want to do something, you have a vision, but you're tired, you don't have the motivation, you're not inspired to do it, and maybe you've been even working hard on it, for some reason, this happens. This wall that you hit tries to stop you from being the you that you are trying to create. It doesn't seem deliberate. It's very easy to say, I'm tired. I've worked all day. I've gone to school all day. I've taken care of the family. Like whatever that is for you, it seems like, why do we hit this breaking point? And on the surface, it seems simple. It's like, well, you're just tired. And most people would agree with you. If you were to tell people about your situation, they would agree. They said, oh yeah, you should just take a rest, take a break. And of course, there's nothing wrong with taking a rest or taking a break. But why does that happen? And how come when we tend to do that, when we take a day off or a week off or a weekend off, whatever it is, it's so easy to fall back into old habits? And what I think it is that there's different levels of frequency. There's the frequency that our energy is, like our pure energy that started when we were born, the energy that we're in. It operates at a certain level. You can think of it as like a radio station. It's just a frequency. And if you want to change it, you have to build it up. You have to put in work. You have to create momentum to raise it. And that's not an easy task. In fact, the frequency wants to stay as it was, because it's not just you on that frequency. It's all energy that's operating at that level. And it's an infinite amount of energy, because there is no end to everything. We know that the universe is always expanding, so there's expansion always, so there's always going to be more energy at that same level. And like attracts like. So if you're in that energy trying to move it, whether that's trying to change your health, trying to change your education, trying to change your income, trying to break the patterns of your family, your parents, their great-great-grandparents, like you're trying to make this change, when you're doing it, you're pushing against this resistance, and it's not something that you see. It shows itself in weird ways. Maybe it makes you late for work. Maybe there's somebody in your class that you just can't stand. Maybe there's all these distractions that seem normal that people deal with all the time that knock us back, and before we know it, we're back in those old patterns. And so the two layers I'm thinking of that can help us pursue and move forward is the initial layer. That's you, this would be Henry, the human, this body, this person that's trying to accomplish certain things. That is a limited being because this body is really dirt. I'm borrowing it from the dirt. It's not something I'm going to take with me. It's not something that's infinite. It's something that has a timeline. It has a beginning and an end. But my energy cannot be destroyed. And they say that energy can't be created or destroyed. So it's existed and will continue to exist. And when I pull back and think from my energy, that third person point of view, and look down on where I'm at, it takes away the pull that's trying to stop you because you just push forward with your energy. You may be tired while you do it. You may not do it your best, but you're pushing forward. And the times that you push forward when it's difficult are the times when you're the most successful. It's the times when the most strength is built. When you're working out, when you're exercising, say you're trying to do 15 reps of something and you're pushing. Well, when you hit that first 10, it might be easy. And if you stop there, there's not going to be as much growth. But the ones that are extremely difficult, where you almost fail, that's where the growth happens. The growth doesn't happen in comfort. The growth doesn't happen in routine. You see, so when you have that writer's block, when you're tired, when you don't want to do it, when it seems impossible, but you pursue anyway in the actions, not the result. Meaning this episode does not need to be the best episode. I might make a few mistakes editing it. I might miss a couple words. It might not be the longest episode, but it's not about the quality always. It's more about the actions. Did I follow through with the actions? Did I go in the mindset that I promised myself that I would go in every single day to create this? And that's what you have to focus on. Focus on your energy. Your energy is the thoughts and the actions. It's not the results. The material results that we accomplish on this earth are amazing, and it's so great to achieve them. I'm proud of you for everything that you achieve. But that's not what you want to hang your hat on. That is not what defines you. What defines you is the patterns and the habits and the thoughts and the actions that you conduct yourself with every single day. Those are what are going to provide the inner peace. Every single time you don't want to do something, maybe it's waking up at a certain time, maybe it's exercising, maybe it's eating healthy, whatever it is, every time that you don't want to do something that is beneficial for you. So I'm not talking about every time you don't want to go party and you go party, like that's the opposite of it. If it's something that's beneficial and healing for you, uplifts you, raise your vibration, every time you do it, when it's hard, when you don't want to, when it's difficult, when it's so easy to quit, that's where the growth happens. Because the next time that it's that difficult, it's easier because you've been there before. The more you're in that pain, the more you're in that struggle, and you're able to maintain your composure, you're able to keep your energy dialed in, the more powerful and more comfortable you become in that higher frequency. So let's start having gratitude for the difficult times. Let's start feeling good for the struggle. When we love the struggle, that doesn't mean it's not hard. That doesn't mean it's not going to hurt. That doesn't mean it's not going to have pain. But when we love it because we know what it truly is, it's a chance for us to go through something where something doesn't exist that we want to create. The episode didn't exist. I could have not done it, and it would have never existed. I could have just waited till tomorrow and done another one, continued on and acted as if it didn't matter, just said, hey, I needed a little break. But I pushed forward, just like you. Whatever you're struggling with, maybe it's today, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's been this whole month, whatever it is, when you're struggling with something, but you continue to do the actions and the thoughts, even if you don't get the result, but you do the actions and thoughts with your positive intention, with love, with forgiveness, you are growing. That is what you were meant to do. So let's be patient. Let's give ourselves a pat on the back and know that every time we go through something difficult, when we keep those positive thoughts and we do those actions that follow through, we will continue to rise, we will continue to grow, and we will be the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful and got you thinking about what you can do to rise and continue to grow and how you can stay motivated during the difficult times. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link in the description. It'll keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. So I appreciate everybody that has reached out. Of course, the direct messages mean the absolute world to me. So thank you so much, everybody who has shared how the podcast has impacted them. It keeps me so inspired, and I can't thank you enough for that. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.